in progress.
What's going on, everyone? Good morning on this Wednesday hump day morning. It's about it's about 10:15 a.m. right now. Uh, as you see by the thumbnail, I'm doing a video on this conversation that everybody been talking about with Melyssa Ford, she's an ex. She was actually one of the pioneers of video vixen, especially like I'm gonna say like in the late '90s, early 2000s. And Mr. Mike Rashad, it's another brother. He came out of nowhere for me. I actually started following him like about 2, 3 years ago because when it comes to him, him working out and everything, and how he keeps himself fit. I've been here about more than a couple of years ago, and I've been seeing what he's been doing with himself, meaning with the things that he does, meaning um, he's just more than a bodybuilder. He's a fighter, boxer, what have you. He's an entrepreneur. He does a lot of different things. Uh, you know, and I respect that. I look at many men that's doing and certain women that's not on that feminist mindset. Uh, what they doing to keep them successful. I value that. I value looking at that, getting ideas from those type of people. This is what I do. Anyway, before I go any further, please like, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and we're gonna go at it. Anyway, as I was saying, so I'm people been calling Mike a lot of excuse me, red pill men been calling Mike a simp and stuff like that. I even called him a simp as well because he's not acknowledging a lot of different things that I believe logical thinking men will acknowledge when it comes to relationships in this country. This don't have to do with, for me, it don't have to do with how much money you're making. This don't have to do with none of that. It has to do with logical thinking, making sure that you know who your partner is before you get married, have children, especially before you make those type of decisions. Knowing who the person, know, being rational, and the way you do that is to work on yourself. You work on whatever trauma that you came with and facing that trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's not about bashing women and this and that and third, but as a man that I believe that I'm a red pill guy, I have to understand. I don't care if they're, it don't even have to do with relationships, 50% of it. I have to be around people that I can trust that won't put me into drama because of their trauma, you know? And this is what people like him and her don't understand because what they see is what the mainstream media is seeing. People like Kevin Samuels or the Fresh and Fit podcast and stuff like that. They talk about a lot of high value men and stuff like that. What I call these dudes that try to benefit from pandering, being as though I respect the Mike Rashad and his work ethic and what he does. You know what I'm saying? And how he's, he's an entrepreneur, and I respect that. I respect black men on a purpose. He's on his purpose 100%. But I don't respect the fact that you're pandering to women that give women like Melyssa Ford that put all the blame on the man and never the blame on themselves or even their um how can I say, even the women that even their peers, the women that they hang out with, the women that's in their circle, they don't put the blame on them more than they do the man. I don't think a lot of them put the blame on their friends or people that look up to them at all. In the women, in Melyssa Ford type of circle. if so say, what have you. That's my problem. You know, that's my problem with all of that. Like you have to know that you want to, especially when you're a black man, you want black men to understand. You got to stop going to these courts, this court system, making bad decisions where our women, where we was brought up 75% of the time with a woman that did not know how to be a man. And that's not her fault. You got to make these decisions for your future, man. And that comes with, being on your purpose, like Mike Rashad, understanding the dynamics of our society so you can make less bad decisions, especially when you're a black man, a black American man, and you're on the bottom of the totem pole. If you don't understand that, please look at the facts. That's all I'm asking. Look at the facts of it. But anyway, I'm going to let you listen to the video and we're going to go from there. All right, let's get this.
Games and bubble baths and lots of wine and stuff, but really doing the hard
Sorry, I'm going to tell you my perspective on the video. Let's keep it going.
shadow work to uncover the parts of myself that I deem to be unacceptable to be viewed by society, or just the parts of me that just were unattractive or whatever the case is, and learn what they are, learn why they are the way that they are, and embrace them. You know what I mean? Um, it has been, it's become, it's a form of survival for me at this point.
Right.
You know, but I say all that to say that let your kids be children. I don't think we really had the concept of what it was like to truly be a child.
Right.
You
Nah,
know, so
you're right.
yeah.
You're right. Because I put a lot of pressure.
That's a lie. We were children growing up. She's my age. She might be a little bit older. We were children, even in the gutter. I'm from, again, I said it time and time again, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Even then, in the 80s, where the crack epidemic was crazy, we were still acting like kids than they are today. Are you kidding me? Let's keep it going.
Pressure on Elijah, and I'm like, look, son, I know it's hard for you to understand this right now, but your childhood is going to be the shortest period of your life, and I need to stop
You don't
that.
even have to tell him that.
Yeah,
I promise. You don't even have to tell him that because he's gonna figure it out.
right.
I swear to God, you
I
can't.
just
You
it's just
can't
certain
stop
things. It's
your kids
certain
from getting
things.
kicked in the teeth.
Here's the thing.
Figuratively.
No. I kind of want that, but he's insulated from that. This is my thing, right?
Yeah.
So you know, we live and we learn. We
Mm-hmm.
go through things. We pick up certain tactics, and we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I have this little guy coming up now, I'm like, shit, bro, you can. Oh my god, you
I'm
gonna
gonna
be a
move
big
forward, guys. Hold on a second.
politicians, you name it, and he had a big team. And then he quit doing that.
Yeah.
He sold all his trucks, got rid of all his equipment to be a cop, right? And I'm like, bro, why'd you do that? He says, look, I own my house. Um, I know when I'm off.
Yeah.
My vacation time, I got good benefits. I got retirement. I know when I can spend time with my daughter and my girl. What do I need?
Mm.
And bro, like I'm sorry,
Made
bro.
total
Sis,
sense, right?
I was like, yo, I envy that.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I don't have that.
No,
right?
you don't.
But I envy and admire that
Yeah.
in him. You know,
Yeah.
people think that it's all about being a millionaire, making all this money. It's a lot of stress with that shit.
Yeah,
right?
and and that brings that. I think that that's a way back to double back on the conversation about the battle of the sexes. And the reason why the disconnect between men and women. Like there's a lot of podcasts right now with people that whose conversations capitalize off of the divisiveness between men
Uncle
and
Kev.
women.
Uncle
No,
Kev.
not even necessarily Uncle Kev. He obviously he's one of the most major ones.
Right.
But then there's also the podcast you just went on,
Fresh and fit.
Fresh and Fit. And then there was also, even though he didn't have a podcast, but this motherfucker was always in the car, Derek Jackson. I'm sorry.
That's
but
the guy that.
yeah,
Yeah, Derek Jackson is the guy that that was pandering to women such as her, that was making her feel good. And then all of a sudden they got a reality check that the man was actually a man that, he's a high value man, considered a high value man to these type of people, that he was going to have his woman here and there. But they thought he was glory to God because he was lying to him. Derek Jackson is the epitome, the epitome of a simpleton beta male that's going to tell a woman whatever she want to hear, but at the same time doing anything and everything that he says that he's not. If you guys can understand that, let's keep it going.
That had like
Cheated or
15
some
million
shit.
mistresses. You know what? No, that
15
sounded like
million
judgment. I
mistresses.
apologize.
Shut
No, that's
up.
not it. He just was. He got caught out there. But his
He
wife
was-
is standing by him.
He represented something that he wasn't living, right?
Uh,
If I, because I don't know shit
Kinda,
about this.
sorta, but
I
then
don't know
he
nothing
come-
about this guy.
but then he comes out with
This guy always
how to
saying he don't know
heal
nothing
together
about
with-
somebody, but he seemed like he do know things about people because he knows exactly what everybody knows. Like this guy said that with a couple of different people. Let's keep it going.
without hurting each other, and I'm like, so was this all like a publicity ploy? I digress. It ain't my business. It's above my pay grade. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But what I will say is, let's, because I want to go back to the Fresh and Fit podcast
Okay.
because I saw a lot of the comments and
Okay.
I was like, motherfuckers calling you a simp. I was like, oh,
And be-
Jesus,
and beta.
bloody hell. We'll
Beta,
get back to that.
yeah.
We'll get back to that. So let's talk.
She don't know nothing about someone being a simp because actually she does, because everything that she got is because of a simp. Everything that woman has that had in her life, when it comes to mainstream, it was because of simps. Giving this woman a money or what have you because of her looks and stuff like that, not because of her value as a woman.
Talk about
Hurt my
Uncle Kev.
feelings.
The crazy part about Uncle Kev is, and I'm going to say something that women are probably going to be mad at me for, is he's ridiculously intelligent. He is. That is an undisputable fact.
And you find that when he's on other podcasts, right?
Not only that, he comes from an advertising, marketing, and corporate sales background. Okay. Decades of that kind of experience and then it led into image consultancy work, but for both men and women, and high profile men and women. All of this creates a repertoire where you've got him. He sits there and he's got his tailored suits and he speaks in an eloquent fashion and he's highly intelligent. And
I wonder, is she surprised by that? I wonder, is she surprised by that? Just because she be around a lot of Pookie and Ray Rays and simps that can have conversations, be articulate, other than looking at her, what she's showing, is she surprised by that? You guys be the judge on that. Let's keep it going.
When he's not on his own podcast, he speaks in a manner that is very, very conversational. Very conversational.
And very practical.
Very practical, makes complete and total sense. When he gets on his show, it's same thing, but the entertainment value kicks in.
Yeah.
And it's not fun just to watch somebody dispensing advice.
And
you gotta be a disruptor, which
to-
means kind of an asshole.
And to someone with a certain intellectual pedigree, it's just hard to watch that.
Right.
When he has the silly girls on and just kind of bashing them and
Right.
making them look silly.
So
He bashed them and make them look silly. What I try to tell you people, black men that's getting their money, getting theirs, and that's in the mainstream media outlets, people know them, they got a lot of followers, what have you. They really do a lot of pandering. A lot. He makes these women look silly. How do he make these women? These women make themselves look silly, sir. Please, black men, please, and black women, stop pandering to people. We do not have enough time. I know a lot of you black men and black women, especially in the mainstream part of it, y'all looking for interracial sex for the most part, not trying to do nothing else but that. But let's be let's be logical and see what's going on in the world. I don't want a black woman to hate me. I don't want black men to hate me. I want us to really realize what's our traumas and stop pandering to people that don't care to even want to know their own trauma. Let's keep it going, man.
So,
And
continuing on with him, he speaks from the he speaks from the place where it comes off where he's way more sympathetic to men than women, which
Wow.
is true because he is a man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
I'm going to be sympathetic to the plight of women because I am a woman. I have had my, you know, my experiences with broken hearts and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like abandonment and all kinds of shit. Stuff has happened
Because
to
you
me.
decided to
So
be with them type of
when I
men.
see people kind of criticizing women for, you know, just like I said, the human condition, of course I'm going to be like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to find sympathy there. He comes from Oklahoma and he comes from a blue collar working background, like his family and stuff like that. So he's going to really, really sympathize with the salt of the earth type of blue collar average working man who is doing an honest day's work for an honest day's pay, and that should be enough to attract women. And but what he is seeing, and I think the social media is definitely contributing to that, is the fact that people have lofty expectations that exceed who they actually are. It's not a man woman thing. It's everybody. It's everybody. So
here's the
for
thing.
No accountability. She was actually going on the right track, but no accountability, of course, by the modern day woman. And I'm not going to call her a black woman because I don't really think women like her that been in the so-called limelight, that white mommy and white daddy gave her as much exploitation to get money from these simps that she possibly could since she was very young. Uh, she blames everyone instead of blaming the woman that is the, you know, instead of, and I get it. This is why I tell a lot of these red pill men or so-called red pill men or even blue pill men, man, a lot of these women you're not going to be able to have a dialogue with because they're going to blame you 100%. They're going to say you're stupid and you hate this and that and third. They're going to deflect. They're going to irrationalize, I should say. They're going to do everything possible to deflect on the situation. You know what I'm saying? They're going to blame you. And if they feel as though it's women you know, need to be blamed, they're going to blame everybody. So that's what she fell off track with me. Let's keep it going though. Maybe she'll make some sense.
You know,
for an from an entertainment standpoint, I think sometimes he takes it a little too far. You know what I mean? That's number one. And number two, I was taught, and number two, he speaks from the standpoint of being a highly educated man. You can only speak to people and expect, and they will understand you from the point of where their level of intellect, maturity, and you know, growth, character, etc., where they are. You know what I mean? So I can't expect, you know, me firing, you know, off a dissertation and somebody in the third grade understanding what the fuck I say. You know,
He makes that clear all the time. This is where irrational thinking comes. He makes that clear all the time. He is not, he's talking about the 10% of men. He's not even talking about me. But he also tells the man that's trying to be the 10% of men to value yourself a lot more than society tells you, a lot more than your own fucking family will tell you, especially when you're a black man. What the fuck?
what I'm
He
saying? So I
he
think
he he articulate that all the damn time. But when you in your feelings with a lot of these males and females, you can't hear nothing else but the emotion part that triggered them. Can't hear nothing else.
I think that what happens is in
hold
the
on.
comment
On
section, the guys,
that
yeah,
point right there, let me interject.
a lot of guys cherry pick from what he says, from his intention, and they apply the entire thing to their identity,
Mhm.
you know, and their feelings of inadequacy.
How do she know this thing? This is deflecting. This is being disrespectful to the man, and this is everything else. Don't care about anything. She doesn't really care that she probably know a sector of Pookie and Ray Rays and simpleton beta males. She don't care. Most of the men that she more than likely know, a lot of these women, they don't like they don't want to be around these men that's high value mentally or financially. They or men that's going to go they go their own way when it comes to rationalization. Most sheep people, most go along, get along people, they're gonna be who they are. And men and women that value themselves, that's helping, that's trying to get rid of their trauma, they don't they don't want to be around people that's on that deflecting shit, just disrespecting people in general. Let's keep it going.
It's a lot of projection happening, not just with men, but with
Okay,
the women.
because you're projecting. You're projecting. Women like you project, but she's trying to keep on that line like I'm a total line this way. No, we know what you're doing. All you got to do, again, I tell men and women that's rational thinkers, just let them talk. They'll tell you everything.
Right.
Everybody.
So let me speak on something.
Mm.
Yeah, when I went on Fresh and Fit, I never heard anything about red pill, blue pill, all of this stuff.
Lying again.
Men,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, simp talk, whatever, right? So I'm looking at comments, and when they would ask me stuff about women, they were like, when you're dating, how
Lying
many girls at
again.
a time? Like
Pandering right
one.
now.
Yeah.
Like I literally, that's what I want, and I literally don't have time to be dating a bunch. I said I barely have time to date one woman,
But
right? So
I also hate the assumption that because you are a high value man, just in terms of how much money you've got and how successful you are in your network and whatever, that the assumption is you should be like nailing a bunch of bitches. Like, what is wrong with monogamy? What is wrong with just having
It's a lot wrong with monogamy, lady, because it's unnatural. If you want to be real, if you want to be honest with yourself, if you want to keep on being 40 something years old, thinking in real unrealistic thinking, keep doing what you're doing. And if he want to make the decision, this is what high value men that's in the 10%, not me, and men that's in the fucking 90%, if they want to make a decision that they want to F how many women they want to, or be with the same woman and just be with her all she wants. That's within his rights. Just like it's within your rights in this first world woman worshiping society. It's within your rights to sleep with whoever you want to. And I'm pretty sure you slept with many men. You know what I mean? You've been around a lot of simps that will give you this and that and third. And just because nobody don't look at you like they looked at you 20 years ago, that don't mean you stop being honest. These women, boy, these modern day women, boy, no matter how old they get, that's who they are.
one person to, God forbid, grow your empire with? What, like, cuddle up with? Big
well,
spoon, little
here's the
spoon.
thing though.
Oh my
Be a
God.
chronologic,
I
like,
have
yeah.
smashed a bunch of bees, like you just said.
Growth though.
Correct, and also experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I seen a long time ago that this is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting nothing out of this.
Mm-hmm.
I got to a point where I felt super lonely, no matter how many girls I had, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type of person that could use to every day somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a very unfulfilling feeling.
Yeah.
And what you just said, like the most successful people I know are married. You know, and I know that if I was married, my focus would be laser point sharp on all of my bottom lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't just tell them half the story. The most successful people are married. And if they are married, they're usually married to a woman, or they're usually married to a man that understand their roles into the marriage. If it's a successful marriage. Don't just say they married and that's it. But of course, again, this is a pandering situation because again, both of them got, they what you consider mainstream. You know what I'm saying? They got to pander to the audience. He has to pander to the women because most women is his actual audience. You know what I'm saying? And she has to pander to whoever's paying her because a typical first world country, illogical thinking, um, modern day female that's over the age of 40.
So it's a power to that, right? And that's the completion. Like, listen, everybody got their own ideology for life and goals.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's man and woman, right? That's why I don't subscribe to the man woman thing, man versus woman, or attack on masculinity, or trying to make women feel a certain way. Because here's the thing: now the red pill philosophy, the actual philosophy is dope. However, what I've observed, I'm not saying this is what it is,
No, the concept
but
has definitely been bastardized.
what I observe, and you can read
How?
through.
How has it been bastardized? How, lady? What are you talking about? How do you know the concept? See, modern day females want men to all be betas, to all have make bad decisions after bad decisions, to all to look up to them. Because the modern day woman, she wants to be the leader. She don't understand a man being a leader, especially you know if they was raised without a strong um, uh, male figure in their life, especially if they was raised with that, not knowing that, not understanding that. You know what I'm saying? She want dudes to be irrational. She don't understand the red pill concept. She don't want to understand the red pill concept. He understands it, but he have to pander.
Comments and
Mm-hmm.
see the shit that people are
I saw.
saying, right? These guys hate women. So the people carrying the of red pill hate women, and it all stems from,
Mm-mm-mm.
and this is from what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
getting their hearts broken. Women rip my heart out my chest and all of this shit. I'm
You
like,
are a
so
fucking
that
liar.
shit
You
happens.
are a
That is a
liar.
normal thing. And here's
Yeah.
the
You
thing:
are a
there's
liar.
guys that really were like,
No, it's about okay. Being as though before all this with this red pill thing, I understood when I was 22 years old, when I made bad decisions with my kids, mother, my two children, I said to myself, this is not going to happen again. I'm going to be a better man. Being as though I never was around men like that to really have me understand what a man needs to be. And that's making rational decisions often, making less bad decisions often. I started to understand this at 22 years old. All right. Being as though, again, I was brought up in a matriarchy household. But red pill is not about hating women, it's about understanding women. A lot of you beta males, a lot of you pandering males, a lot of you Pookie and Ray Rays, a lot of you woman worshiping males, you the ones that's always in the courtroom from the age of 20 to the age of 50 because of you talking about you love a woman, you put her on a pedestal and this and that and the third. But you don't seem to get that for the last 30 years of your life, let's say 10 or 5 years, I don't give a fuck, 20, 25 years, you've been making bad decisions after bad decisions because of you putting a woman on a pedestal instead of the most high. No man, no woman should put no man or woman on a pedestal, especially if they're not working on their trauma. If they didn't face their trauma from and then defeated it. Okay, don't get mad at men because you want to put your rhetoric on the definition of a red pill man. Don't do that because you want to pander to most of your audience, and that's women. Don't do that. That's what they said. Who said? Some what do you call that? You know, some troll. That's what some troll said. Maybe he did, because a lot of them did get their hearts broken, but a lot of them ain't making that bad decision to what they was making it when they was 20 and now they 40 or 50. No, they grew up. They understand our society and how it benefits the woman in the courtroom and in every other aspect as well, especially when you're a black man. And when a black man say the shit that he says, it gets me angry. I'm gonna watch a little bit more and then I'm done with this right here. Gets me angry. This pisses me off because I'm passionate about letting, especially men, especially young black men, make better decisions that I did and their fathers did. And stay with these decisions. Don't make mistakes of being in a courtroom. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted to put the woman on a pedestal. Don't do that.
He'll come over to the. I'm like, look, motherfucker, you guys are associating yourself
Mm-hmm.
with something that somebody came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Man woman relations, all of the complexities that come with it.
No, they
You women,
associating themselves facts, with facts, with research, with what they've been through. That's what they associate themselves in. With this society that we're living in this Babylonian society. That's what they associate themselves with. Guys, I don't want to even look at this no more because it's the same thing. I just want you to understand what Mike and Melyssa is all about. See, he's entrepreneurs, as I said before. He's this and he's that, and she's this and that and third, but they are the go along, get along game. They don't care about what's really going on in this society. They don't care. They don't care about facts and research and stuff like that because they're getting that money, baby. White mommy and daddy showing them where the bag is at. I get it. I got it. They're going to be like this. A lot of people is going to have to be left behind. And I don't care how much money they have. Because these people are nothing but, and more than likely, they know what's going on. Again, it's called pandering, deflecting on things, deflection, all this other stuff. It sounds like Melyssa want the black man, just like want the man, especially the black man, to make bad decisions and stuff like that because of her girlfriends. As long as they make bad decisions, her girlfriends will keep on living free. He want to pander to women because that's all his audience is. To me, he talking about Derek Jackson and everything. I feel as though he is part of Derek Jackson thing. And what I mean by that is part of creating the delusion for the man to not think the women is not the problem because you're fully the problem. It's your problem. Just like I said, you guys understand what's going on here. The people that's actually subscribed to me and the people that's looking at this video, for the most part, I get more people looking at the video that's not subscribed to me. And I hope you guys get subscribed to my channel as soon as you possibly can. You know what I mean? And again, I get people that disagree with me. And as long as we can have a real conversation, an adult conversation, and you're not asking me stuff that you shouldn't ask an adult when you're an adult, I'm going to answer your question. I'm not going to deflect on anything or what have you. I'm going to answer your question. I'm not going to answer 1,000 questions that you're asking me. And then after I answer it and I give you facts on it, you want to start disrespecting me. That doesn't work. So anyway, I'm about men making better decisions that they've ever made in the last 35, 40 years, and especially young black men. Keep on making the decisions to understand what's a woman for the streets and what's a woman that's ready to be, um, that's ready to be accountable for having a real man in her life. To understand a godly thing. What I mean is that understand her role, and you better understand your role. And in order for you to understand your role, you must follow the Most High for at all times. You must face your trauma at all times before you even think about a relationship, let alone making some woman the mother of your child or making some woman your wife and you don't know shit about your own self. That's what red pill is about, not making bad decisions often, all the time or often, whatever how you want to put it, probably the same thing. But this is about understanding the decisions you make is the decision that's going to more than likely destroy your life, especially when you're a black man. So you cannot, you got, so you have to be rational at all times, even when it's hard to be. So keep on being on your purpose, young man. And that's why he should be letting men know often and all the time. After red pill, after all this other stuff, after men against the women, this, that, third. Why don't you promote more being on your purpose instead of trying to dilute the conversation with pandering? Why don't you promote being on your purpose, sir? Do that. Peace.